you know Steve?
Is
He's
he?
with Defiant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
actually know. I don't actually know him. I don't think any of us have actually met him.
No,
but we
we
know
have had the pleasure to meet him, but he's sponsored a load of athletes to go.
Well, he was a kit sponsor, wasn't he? And then Joey speaks really highly of him, doesn't he? Joe, one of our friends, he knows him. But we just kind of know of him, don't we, rather than know him.
Yeah, I wouldn't know him. But he does some great stuff for the young athletes. He kitted them out in some really good gear so Tatiana's just been to the Netherlands and they kitted them out in all the clothes and everything, which was really kind.
Yeah, they looked really cool.
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Did you like the kit, Tatiana? Was it fashionable?
It was good. It was nice. Yeah.
She had an amazing jumper, but unfortunately, it was, wasn't it? But it was that hot, you literally couldn't wear it. So she's been wearing it around the UK.
It was absolutely boiling, wasn't it? The first day of the comp in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So they had like a little zip up top and a hoodie, but you just don't want to on, did you? It's so boiling.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. So Steve's been on the show a couple of times. He's a really good guy. And his Defiant brand, they've got a couple of different branches. So they've got competitions, they've got a printing service, they've got a affiliate series they're doing, which is how Joey knows him. He films there. But yeah, his kit services. The reason I asked about that was my friend that I've just said about, Simon Stokes, who went to the Euros last weekend. He absolutely loved the kit. So it was all printed, all named up and everything.
Yeah, it was cool how you had the name on your top, wasn't it?
It was a really good fit as well. They're you enjoyed it. Was good.
Yeah, it's nice.
Good t-shirts, wasn't they?
One of our friends, Jane, she loves the Defiant leggings. She says they're her all-time favorite leggings.
Oh, there you go.
I've never actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
favorite leggings.
Yeah.
that's quite a compliment.
They're a British brand as well, I believe, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they are. And it would be a really good thing if we could get more people involved with Defiant. I've spoken to Steve a couple of times about a couple of events. I'm a weightlifting coach as well as a CrossFit coach, and I'm taking one of my athletes to Worlds in October. So I'm hoping that we can get some kit printed and done for us when we go away. So I'd thoroughly recommend Steve and Defiant, everything they do. So guys, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining me. I know it's Sunday morning and very early for a lot of people, but thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Have you had your coffee yet?
Yeah, we've been off.
Tatiana's been in the classroom for the last 2 hours studying. 3 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
3 hours studying. Yeah.
What was it? Oh, that's dedication. What was it this morning, Tatiana? Have you given yourself subjects to do, or?
English and history. My tutor comes to the house, so I was doing it with her.
Amazing, good stuff. So, but my degree is in history, right? So, so a couple of the people that I've had on recently also had history degrees. Have you got a favourite part of history that you like to study, Tatiana?
We've been learning about Vikings, and that's been cool.
Yeah.
Patty's like a Viking, from what I've heard.
Yeah. Do you know what? Maybe when you're a bit older. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, exactly. When you're a bit older, maybe you can watch the series Vikings on Netflix. That's well worth watching. My wife and I've just rewatched that. It's my favourite one.
Is it?
I like to. Have you ever done a ancestry report at all, either of you?
Mum always saying
yeah, we'd love to, but we haven't got around to
Will's mum thinks Will's a bag.
Yeah. What makes her say that?
She's a nutter. She's crackers.
I don't really know.
Yeah, we don't know. She could back it up, it'd be all right, but she can't back it up, can she?
If you were.
But is it Marvel? Aren't they based on like Thor's a Viking?
Oh, yeah, we thought that was so cool when you learn.
Yeah,
when you realised
cool
we didn't know it all linked in with the Thor movies. But that's actually got the names and it's all kind of based on Viking legends. It's brilliant. Oh,
yeah. There's a lot of that interwoven.
Cool, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've been up quite a while. We do get up quite early. We have a busy schedule, and with Tatty training how she trains.
Yeah.
Obviously, school's really, really important, but obviously following your dreams is also important. And
Yeah.
what started out with a bit of fun is soon progressed into, we're trying to keep it fun now, aren't we? And keep what we did. But yeah.
Yeah, because obviously CrossFit is very good fun,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And Tatiana, when she first started doing it, it was like you said, just lots and lots of fun. But now it's
getting a bit more serious, if you want to call it that. We want to keep her schoolwork up to date, but also let her go training in the evenings and do all such as like that.
It is a tricky balance, especially, and Tatiana, it will be difficult for you, I guess. But when it's your dream and something that you want to do, there's a fire there. For your parents, I guess it's a very different position to be in. As a parent, I'm not quite there yet. Mine are a lot younger than you, Tatiana. But I can start to picture how two sides of your brain are working at the same time as a parent. With you see the potential, you see the fire behind Tatiana's eyes, you see how much she wants to do something. At the same time, you know that there's this whole other bit of her life that she does also need to focus on.
Yeah.
And so the like Sean's just said, that old quote, education is important, but big biceps are more important to being. And that's the tricky thing with CrossFit, you know. It's because it's health and fitness as well. You would encourage it. It's not like it's, you know, your bodybuilding or a sport, base jumping or anything like that. There is actual foundations of health and education as well. I've got my L1. I don't know if either of you have looked into doing the L1 at all. The CrossFit certification, but I use some of that for my homeschooling with the kids. And a lot of it, because it's science based and it's, you know, pretty objective, it can be used for good as well alongside the education. So, so Tatiana, what school year are you in? Are you finishing at the moment?
I'm in year 8.
Right.
So going into
Tati's only just turned 13. Well, not
13 and a half.
Yeah, now. 13 and a half, aren't you?
Those halves still count. Those halves count. I don't know when they stop counting, but they count.
So she's 14 on bonfire night, aren't you? 5th of November.
Easy to remember then.
Can't forget it.
Good. So firstly, before I forget to ask this, your name, Tatiana, is there a background behind that? Is there history there? Is it something you just enjoyed?
So we're an English family. Like just an English family. Both our parents are English, yours are, and it was Callie's mum. When Callie was pregnant, Callie's mum just thought of the name and we liked it and it stuck. Like her middle name's Rosie, which is probably like a bit of a traditional English name.
Yeah, so we're not.
Yeah, we don't know why. It just when we heard it, we just thought of it. And do you know what? It's weird because like names and people, I don't know. It's like it's a unique name, and Tati is a very unique person. Like there's not very many Tatianas around, if not any, because in everything that she does, like from being a little girl, she's been a bit different in my opinion, not in a nice way, but like
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's like she's not bothered. Like we've got Billy, so Tatiana's got a little brother Billy. He wants to be with all lads. He wants to be with all his mates. He wants to be one at lads playing. He plays rugby, football, all these team sports. He absolutely loves it. And he's just a typical young lad. Whereas Tatiana, she's just happy being on her own. If that group of kids over there is doing something she don't quite agree with, she won't go along with it. She'd just rather.
Yeah.
So we went to school. She went to a school after 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks, 2 days maybe. 2-3 days.
It was like 3 weeks.
Was it 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Refused to go. Outright refused to go. I ain't going there anymore, Daddy. Her mum dropped her off. She refused to get out of the car.
Chased the car and got my kid.
Then they're ringing me up. What do I do? I said, Tatty, if you're that adamant, just don't go. And that's like, what? Tell me the reasons you don't want to go. And she's like, they're all vaping. They're all messing about. There's chewing gum everywhere. It's cool to be naughty. And all this like stuff, and you're like, well, if they're your reasons why, don't go. I'm not going to put you in an environment where you hate it.
There's no CrossFit.
Yeah, there was no. Yeah, but
no.
Yeah.
How old? When was that? Sorry.
That was when she started secondary school.
It was like
Right,
year
11.
Yeah, year 11.
But then we did try another school. She didn't just stop going altogether, did she? Tried another school, but I think it just became really apparent that, I mean, I think in the UK there's more and more kids being homeschooled now. It's becoming quite a big thing. And we're both self-employed. Like Will's got, a few cattle and stuff, haven't you? So we're around a lot.
Our parents are self-employed as well.
And I think it just fits for us. We've got friends that are tutors and things, and she's got a really good timetable in place. So it's just working well for us all. You're happy, aren't you? Tatiana's like Will said, she's kind of a bit of a one-off, really, and she's just, what you like to do.
Like some mornings I'm in bed, I wake up, Tati's already been and trained. So that's like a bit of an eye opener when she started doing that. That shows that she wants it. Obviously, we don't want to push her, but we want to support her.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I've got a few cows and I breed them and stuff, and some go for meat or whatever. Tatiana, like usually, if any farmer's daughters, they'll just follow the footsteps or whatever in the parents. And Tati's like, I'm going to be a vegan. So I was like, fine.
I'm not having this. Yeah. And every time these two fall out, Will often loses the fallouts. Tatiana's like,
I hope
forces him.
But
you don't hold your own.
I do hold my own. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah. Well, Tatiana, at least you've got. Yeah, at least you've got. You've got a good.
Headstrong.
Yeah, exactly, and you've got that base, but also being around your dad who works with the cows. At least you can keep an eye on him and make sure everything's been doing, humanely and well. That can be your role.
She grows mushrooms and stuff like that, Jake.
Wow, what it do you actually?
Yeah, and then powders them, and just to get an edge. Anything that Tatiana can do to get an edge in CrossFit, she will do it.
She's really into
it. There's loads of stuff.
She's loads of health benefits.
Yeah, just all sorts of crazy stuff. What you can't even we would be here all day if we started going on about them all. And some of them she thinks are a bit of a secret. So.
Oh yeah, don't reveal all your secrets. Otherwise, everyone will be boiling up mushrooms and.
Yeah. She's really into nutrition, aren't you? Yeah. She's Tatiana. You tell Jake what you think. You love to eat healthy foods, ain't you? Yeah, good food. Enjoy cooking and things like that.
And the recovery, you're on par with your recovery, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say?
Early every night, and you don't even have to tell her, do you?
Yeah. So I think with us as well, we realised. Like you said something good a few years ago, or a year ago or something, and I thought it was pretty right, really, what you said. Because with CrossFit, obviously, a lot of people in the UK aren't really that. They're not really that. They don't know what it is, do they? Lots of people, you have to explain it to them what it is, and you find yourself going over the same conversation all the time when you tell people what she's done and what she's doing. But Will said a couple of years ago, if you were a footballer and you showed a talent with football and a big club wanted you, that's it. They would school you there. You would go to the club, you would do your training all the time, and they would get tutors, and that would be what would happen, wouldn't it? I mean, that's what I can't remember his name, Phil Foden. That's what the Man City players and stuff like that. That's what happens to the Premier League talent when they're spotted young. Tatiana, she's very good at what she does, and then we just thought, a lot of these people that are in a sport, they're able to thrive in it because they do that bit more training and then still get the schoolwork in, but change things a little bit. So that's what we all decided, wasn't it, as a family, to do for her.
Yeah.
We just thought Gwen should getting up early and going to bed late, and it was just it was all messy, wasn't it? Now it's more structured.
Yeah.
She'll have a better
routine, and I think I'm actually learning more.
Yeah, she thinks she's going to be. They're saying she's going to get better grades through being homeschooled, so it was a no-brainer that as well. Because without being funny, some of these schools now are I've got to say it, they're ridiculous. You can't even go for a week. Little young lasses, when they need to go to the toilet for one reason or another, can't even go to the toilet. What is that all about?
It was the lessons were 45 minutes long, and probably 15 minutes of that lesson, naughty kids were getting told off. So it's you've only really got a 30-minute lesson, and that's not one-to-one with the teacher.
And you're absolutely right. There's so many reasons, and that's the reason why that's partially why my wife and I decided to pull our kids out of school and homeschool ourselves. It's and it's no bearing. And this is the conversation. I don't know if you've had the conversation when you talk about homeschooling with other parents. I feel the need to make sure and clarify that I don't think less of them for not doing it. It's not like we're better than you. It's just that it works for us, and we feel for our kids in our situation, it works better for us. And we know our kids, like at the age of 7, and like you've said, you know Tatiana inside out. You know that she will thrive in homeschool. She's got the right discipline to be able to do that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went off then a bit, but I think we gathered what you said. Yeah. So like our Billy goes to primary school. He's going to secondary school, and if we did,
he loves it.
Yeah, if we did what we did with Tatiana with Billy, he would hate it. He wouldn't be able to do it. So everybody's different.
He loves all his friends.
And like you say, I think you know your kids, so you do what's best for your kids.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. And any parent would. Once you know your kids and you want the best for them. No, Tatiana, this is something that you already know clearly, but your parents only want the best for you. So every decision that they're making with you, and you're very fortunate where you've got parents that actually involve you in the conversation, and take your feedback, which is awesome. I think all of it comes back to an entrepreneurial mindset. So you both said that your parents were both self-employed.
Yeah, they're still working now.
Yeah.
So my auntie was a bit like my mum. She's 84. She starts at 6 and finishes at 6 days a week.
Yeah.
My dad's 80.
Still working full time.
Yeah, he's still working full time. He starts at 4 in the morning, finishes at 6 at night. He drives a lorry, and they're very, very hard working. Callie's parents are still working.
My mum's always been an antique sealer, and my dad used to make pine furniture.
So and because they're working full time, it's hard for them to have the kids. So I don't know if Tatty been with us through growing up. She was like with us all the time.
Yeah.
We still go places and do things, didn't we, in the early days?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the reason she's how we just don't know how. But like they've had no different upbringing, and they're completely different.
I think you're a bit of an old soul, really, though, Tatiana. Like your best friends are kind of our friends, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're best friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Best friends. It's true. Our best friends are at the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you know, and Tatiana, growing up around in a CrossFit gym, you know, you're surrounded by, I would imagine, the majority of them are adults. Yeah. And they're working hard for what they want. They're putting in the effort every day. And when you're around that, you kind of pick up on that. And that's the beautiful thing about having kids in this environment at CrossFit gyms. They go there, even if they sit on the sofa and watch, they're being exposed to people coming in and choosing to put themselves through hardship.
All different walks of life.
It's true though, isn't it? Even if the kids are there and maybe like on their iPads for an hour, they're still seeing like this is what I'll probably do when I'm older. This is the norm. It's nice, isn't it?
Because whatever they see, they'll be taking it in.
Everyone talks to them.
And there's some amazing role models there.
Definitely.
So you're at CrossFit Retford, is that right?
Yeah.
Was that your first CrossFit gym that you went to? Okay.
Yeah.
And what brought you to the gym? Were you guys going there first, or was it something you saw online, or what brought you into CrossFit?
Yeah, it was
your birthday.
Yeah, me and Will, we'd gone to other gyms and always, you know, through our lives, and always got really bored and just sort of dragged ourselves there. We were bored when we
tried every gym going.
Didn't know what to do. Will would always just fall out of love with it really quickly.
Or the PT.
Yeah, and then we kept seeing it popping up on Instagram in Retford, and we weren't really sure where it was, but we thought it looked like it was kind of just starting out. So we went, didn't we? And then the first session we did, we were doing like burpee box jumps, and we were literally dying. We did about 4 and we were in a heap on the floor. And then we just thought we would love it. We're going back, didn't we? We just kept going.
I was like, Callie, it was Callie's birthday, and I was like, what are we going to do for your birthday, Callie? And she's like, I thought we was going to have to go for a meal, or I'd have to spend a few quid. And she's like, I want to go to the CrossFit gym.
And we just got back off your friend's 40th birthday, so you just got off a flight from, where had you been?
I'd been to, I think it was Marbella. Yeah, I was rough anyway, dying, and I'm going to this. I died after about 5 birthdays. But we loved it. The lad who runs it was amazing. Because
It's
it's the people. I'm a big people person.
Yeah.
So if you like the people, you want to go back, don't you?
Yeah.
And it just me and you fell in love with it, didn't we?
Yeah, straight away. I remember you driving away, and I remember you saying, "I'm gonna like it." I just know it.
Yeah, you just know. You know when you found your place.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
What you say, Tati?
yeah, and then we tried everything, found that and loved it. And then Tatiana was the same. She tried lots of sports, and then we talked. They did a teens class, didn't they?
Yeah, after they've been open a while, they put a teens class on. That's when you started, wasn't it?
Mm.
Tell them about your teens classes, Tati. Was it twice a week?
Yeah, it was twice a week, but it was a little.
She had a big back lift straight away, back squat,
Yeah.
big back squat, didn't you? And deadlift straight away.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was
So
like, "Oh, she's pretty strong." And then
yeah,
and then the guy who owns the gym was like, "She's decent." Ben, yeah,
Tati's coach.
she can join in with some of the adults classes.
Mm.
And when you're in with the adults classes and everybody at the gym's like so supportive, they're all amazing, aren't they? Like cheering her on and stuff. She loves it even more. I think your first impressions when you go anywhere. She went football training once. Ball's come across the box. She completely air kicked it, missed the ball. A couple of people's had a bit of a laugh. A couple of people had a bit of a laugh. She's got upset. I'm never going back there again. She never did football. And I think your first experiences matter. And I think like 99 out of 1,000 experiences of CrossFit are amazing. One day she did a clean and did you fall backwards?
Yeah.
Like you spat her out or something. And everyone was laughing and supporting, and it was a great experience. And like,
yeah,
Yeah, but now, because I love it so much, it for me, it's like, I got upset. But because, like, your first impressions matter, if I got upset on the first day, I probably wouldn't want to go back. But
you go to any normal gym and walk in there, there's a lot of people on iPhones
Yeah.
with earphones in, doing their own thing, which is great. But you go to a CrossFit gym and everyone's like, "Hi, how you doing?" And
you all like your friends with everybody there.
yeah, it's just such a good vibe.
And then we love it as well when we go anywhere on holiday.
yeah, I feel like I love going into, like, CrossFit boxing. I've never met people before, and it's like, I don't know, it feels like you've known them forever.
Isn't it?
guys, just a quick one. Your audio, I don't know if it's the signal, but the audio is going a bit crackly at the moment. So it's only just the last minute or so. That was all.
Is that there?
Yeah, that should be all right. Yeah, that should be all right. Yeah, I think it just might have been the signal a little bit. But we should be all right. But yeah, I got the gist of what you were saying. The environments that we go to, once you find a sport or an exercise routine that you suit and you enjoy, especially as a younger person, it does definitely help. So Tatiana, you said that you wanted to on your birthday go to the CrossFit gym. Had you been before then?
It was my mum's birthday, and you like.
Yeah, it was my birthday that we all went to. Well, me and Will went to it. Then a couple of months after that, so it would have been June, kind of 3 years ago. And then a few months after that, then they put the teens classes on, which Tatiana started going to. And then probably did that for, I'm not really sure how long, but then they started saying she can come to the team mod on a Saturday because it's a bit more fun, isn't it? Partner workouts and stuff. So you did that for quite a while. And then it was always training in an evening, wasn't it, as well? It was school for quite a while. And then, so I suppose, would you say about 2.5 years Tatiana's been doing it? But
a couple of years.
Seriously?
Couple of years.
Yeah.
We entered a competition for the Castle Games up the north of England, and Tatiana podium there, did really, really well. So, like, from doing like one class a week or whatever, and a bit of training at home, like in the garden, she's podiumed in a competition what's a lot older than her age group. So it's like, that's good.
So it's my first comp too.
Yeah, first ever comp.
Yeah.
And then she's only ever done 5 comps.
Right.
On her own.
Right, okay.
We've done 7, but 2 of them was in the teams.
Right.
And then, so we did really well there. Then it was like, right, we're going to enter another comp. And this is, again, when I'm trying to say about Tati, like, a bit, like, different. We went to one in Manchester. We didn't know the workouts. We knew some of the standards. Got there in the briefing. they're doing a briefing. Tatty was 12 with 14 and 15-year-old girls.
No, still 11.
11. 11 or 12.
No, I was 12. I was 12.
Yeah. In the 14, 15-year-old girl category. And when
No.
Tati, you tell the story.
You tell the story.
No, so I was meant to be in the 12 to 13, but then I went in the 14 to 60. Wasn't 14.
Yeah. So when we got there, Tatty's like, I don't like these workouts. The weights aren't big enough. Had a bit of a diva, as she does, a bit of a diva
It was
thing.
meant to be. It was the older category. Basically, they didn't have enough barbells, but the older category was doing barbell DT, and I was doing barbell. I was meant to be doing barbell DT with a wall ball, and it was just really weird. And it was a max lift with dumbbells and stuff rather than barbells. It was like
She politely kicked off, and this is well, you can go with the 16-year-olds if you like. And Tatty said, "Yeah, go on then." And she comes second in that competition.
Wow.
So again, we come away from that, we're thinking, wow, she's this maybe not just a fluke. This is 2 comps now where she's done really well in. Like and after each comp, we've kind of like upped our game a bit in terms of training or what can we do to get better. And we've analysed it each time. And then after that, what's your third comp? Oh, so the third comp was at Forge Fitness for the UK teen throwdown or something. What was it?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's called, UK.
Yeah. And I've missed a big bit out here.
Yeah.
So from at the when she comes second at Manchester, the teen class finished in Retford, and they'd stopped doing the teen class in Retford. We come second in Manchester and was like, look, we need to look for something here, get some help, because we don't know what we're doing. We're not like experts. We need to get some help. And there was a DJ who put us in touch with a guy called Joel from Combat Fitness Stoke, who's got some of the best athletes in the world.
Teen
athletes in the world.
He's all about teens.
Yeah, under his umbrella.
Right.
And we spoke to Joel, and he invited us down, didn't we? So we went down to Joel's, and Joel worked wonders with Tatty, and we then ended up doing the teen throwdown. Is it to? What was it? Like the British? Is it for functional fitness?
Yeah. So what happens is the man that
it's CrossFit.
The Forge Fitness gym at Rotherham, they are also the heads for the BF3, aren't they?
Yeah.
So then they put on
the British Functional Fitness. The guy who's a part of the British Functional Fitness puts on competitions for all the young athletes to showcase their ability. And if it wasn't for people like Mark at Forge Fitness and Castle Games and
they won't get the chance.
Yeah, these young athletes wouldn't get.
Forge and British Functional Fitness are different things.
Yeah, but it's
the same gym.
So they give up all the time, they give up all the effort. Anyway, so we went to that competition. Tatiana won it, and then we've stayed with Joel and that for a bit longer. Then we did the British Functional Fitness, where you go to. So British Functional Fitness is same as CrossFit, but it's like CrossFit's. Tell me if I'm wrong, because you know more maybe. CrossFit's a brand.
Yeah.
And CrossFit is CrossFit, and then Functional Fitness is the same as CrossFit, but it's not like a company, and it's all voluntary.
It's a federation.
It's a federation, and they're hoping for it to be an Olympic sport in 2032.
Yeah.
And Tatiana went there and come away as British champion when she did that competition,
which got her the spot to represent
Great Britain
for her age
at the Netherlands last month, which Tatiana won again. But touching on these competitions, there's a lot of we've realised whilst being out in Holland last weekend and over this last year and that there's a lot of coaches out there what's giving up the time to teach these young athletes. And I coach football, so I know what the time and effort goes in for doing that. And these guys are no different. It's fantastic that they give up all the time. They're not earning mega money or anything like that off the back of these kids. They're doing it purely for the love of the sport.
And they want it to grow, don't they?
They want it to grow. But
they
love. I think these coaches love, like when you're teaching a kid to do something and then they do it. The reward you get from that it's a really good feeling.
They were so happy as well. Like they were really proud of their English team, because I think they did they have the biggest team in the English team, or was it second?
No, I think we was the third biggest.
No,
there was
a lot of Brits there.
They were so proud, and they were just so happy. They said last year it was a good team as well, a big team, but we didn't know about it then, did we?
No.
And it was just amazing. They had it was all the teens and the masters, is that right? And all together. and it was really, really fantastic, wasn't it? Well, thought out and everything like that. The venue was great, wasn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, the just for the Americans in the room that are watching this in the future as well, the IFFF, IF3, they called it, was set up, I think, 2015-16. I know Steve Fawcett was involved originally with the British side of stuff. It was set up to set it up as every official sport. So let's think about traditional sports. You look at rugby, football, cricket, track and field. Look at any sport. You'd have a national governing body. They regulate and they stay neutral in affairs, and they make assessments and pull funding and set that through and set regulations and make sure that, you know, clubs and sports have somewhere to go to report in and to get advice, and for doping and that kind of thing. So weightlifting that I'm involved with, I run the national governing body on the Isle of Man where I am. We report into British weightlifting. British weightlifting report into the IWF, so the International Weightlifting Federation. They're the global governing body. So we within the CrossFit world, you're right, absolutely right, Will. CrossFit is a brand. It's a completely separate thing. They have no rights or say in sport. They are just simply a brand that run a fitness racing competition, like an event, similar to High Rocks. It's an event at the end of it. To legitimize what we do as functional fitness, what we've called it, we need a national governing body in each nation that does the sport, if we want to call it a sport. And then we need an international governing body, which is what the IF3 became. So they set themselves up as the International Functional Fitness Federation. They run the sport. They give the regulations in place. They're neutral grounds across the whole of the globe. They reiterate that they're in charge of the link with WADA, so the doping, World Anti-Doping Association, and they pass all that down. So in order to become an official sport, and this is because CrossFit, and I've had this discussion many, many times, guys, on this show with a lot of, like I said, a lot of our viewers are American. With the big four American sports, they're brands. They're very internal and they operate very, very differently to international sports. They don't necessarily have governing bodies because they're brands as well. So they're owned and operated, a bit like F1. F1 is a brand as well, which is why it's not always considered a sport, because there's no, regulations, there's no international governing bodies, that kind of thing. Now, with what we do, it's difficult because it changes all the time. By its very nature, it's constantly varied functional fitness at high intensity. It's constantly varied, so you can't predict what's coming up. No. Now, the difference with what the IF3 are trying to do, they're trying to legitimize it as much as they can so that we've got that international governing body, so that to be able to apply to become an Olympic sport, you have to actually be a sport. There's certain criteria that you need. You need to be able to be represented at every country on earth in order to give everyone opportunity to develop and become grassroots. So that's the background in the IF3 and therefore the BF3. And that is where the sport comes into it. Now, you can, as a CrossFit affiliate and as a functional fitness affiliate, you can become an affiliate of BF3. So,
yes, that's
right.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is where our gyms come into it.
I do a lot of I try and do a lot of research and look around and see who's about and what's happening. And the Americans do have a massive team. Last year at the World, so Tati's just done the European Championships. Now, because she won it, she's earned a spot at the World Championships. And last year, the Americans took some real big athletes in the CrossFit game, CrossFit World. There was it was a good show. They had the best tracksuits, and I thought they had the best tracksuits. And the walk around bit at the start was pretty.
Was
cool.
it amazing?
I liked it.
Yeah.
So this comp we've just done now, we thought it was amazing, but it's our first international comp, so we haven't got anything to compare it to. But we've and some people said, "Oh, yeah, it gets better than this," so we can't wait.
I think the teams get overlooked a bit as well. In this sport, they're the next generation, aren't they? They're coming through.
Yep.
And some of them, oh my God, some of them are unreal. What they can do, they're unreal. And they do get a bit overlooked. The teams do, and there's not many comps and things like that. So it's great that this IF3, BF3.
This BF3, if you can get BF3 to take off, I think the hope is it's going to actually roll out into schools and be a part of education in schools. And I think it really strongly should be. Like, coming from a family where my mum and dad split up, like, it takes your mind off things, it gets you back on, it builds your confidence. It's just such a, it's not just about like the fitness side, the mental side of it is amazing. Like for me personally, for Tati, I've seen it's been great. It's like, I think it should be highly recommended to be in there.
And it's just kids going to know what it is, aren't they? If they want to do it, they can go and find a gym. Yeah. It's just great.
And the people watching in and around the BF3 who we've met are all amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what they're doing for it and be giving up so much time you don't see behind the scenes.
Yeah.
To try and make these kids' dreams come true. Imagine like in 10 years' time if you could have kids going to the Olympics through fitness.
She's made a couple of friends as well, through girls that she would have never met, 'cause they live miles and miles away, don't they? Right down at the bottom of the country, through doing the comps at Forge, hasn't she? Yeah. She made some two really nice friends. And keep in touch, don't you? And you would never really see them if it wasn't for these comps. So it's just, it brings them all together. Like social for teams, it's nice.
Yeah, and again, we tend to, well, historically, I know you guys were probably the same. Like my friendship group growing up was the people that lived down my street or the people in my town, you know, I went to school with. It wasn't people on the other side of the globe that I could pick up my phone and talk to whenever I like on WhatsApp. So from that perspective, and you're linking up with people that have a lot in common with you, but are the same up here. They're the same type of people. You know, and you get to choose those because you then get to meet up with them at federations and you don't have to hang around with them all the time. That's the other benefit as well.
Yeah, it's nice.
You don't have to be in the same room. Yeah. So I had a question in here from Sean. Now, Sean has asked, what's your favourite lift, Tatiana? Have you got one favourite lift?
No, I used to love snatches like 2 months ago. I was obsessed with them. But now I don't think that's my favourite.
Is that because you had one session where it didn't go right and now you don't like it anymore?
Yeah, pretty much. I love barbell. It's probably one of my favourite things. But I don't know what my favourite is.
I think you're pretty good at it clean.
So Tati's very fortunate. She has
I think it's probably a clean and jerk.
You make it clean look really good.
What have you, at the age of 13 then, Tatiana, what's your clean and jerk? Have you got a PB that you like to tell everyone about?
75.
75 kilos.
Yeah.
She's got a high jerk.
Yeah.
She can jerk over 80, which is a clean and
wow.
Jerk. I think.
And how long have you been? Sorry, you go.
It doesn't matter, you can say it.
How long have you been? How long have you had access to the barbell then? So let's say when you started CrossFit, were you instantly? You talked about using a med ball instead for cleans and that kind of thing, which is absolutely the right way of doing it. How long have you been? How long would you consider yourself having been training properly with a barbell with weight?
Yeah, probably like almost a year.
No, because it was
because I have done before. No, because remember I started with Freya like a year ago. Yeah. So I was doing cleans.
That was just before Castle Games.
When she went to Joel, when she started with Joel, she started with Freya. It was roughly about the.
No, because I started with Freya before Castle Games. I did,
which was early on last year.
Yeah.
And then Joel was after that.
I've been with Freya. I've been with her around about a year, like this month.
So about a year then.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So a year, and you're at 75 kilos.
Yeah, so you did like a lot of technique work, didn't you, for a long time? She's got a coach called Freya, who's a weightlifting coach, and Freya spends a lot of time with Tati, maybe not doing heavy weights, just lots of technique. Yeah, and you've got a good relationship, haven't you, friends? And she's young, she's a young girl, and just you get on nice, don't you? It's good.
Excellent. And have you linked up with any of the weightlifting girls yet? So like Bella, I know she came from a CrossFit background in Slough, but she's a rising star within British weightlifting. I think she's obviously a bit older than you. I think she's 17, 18. But it'd be a good crowd to get in with. And you've got Emily Steele as well. So she's in Gladiators as well.
Oh, wow. I see the blonde lady with the curly hair now.
That's Sherry. She's a bit older. So you've got three CrossFitters in the Gladiators team.
Wow.
but you've got the young. I think her name's Dynamite. I think she's. So if you look, if you do, have a look up for her because she's a really fun. She's just released a country album of all things. But she's quite a free loving young lady. She does a lot of stuff. But yeah, she's got one of the British records in the juniors, and she's really good girl. So she knows what she's doing, and she's got some really good numbers. So there's so many younger women involved with British weightlifting that came from CrossFit background that would understand exactly what you're talking about. So Freya, I believe, is one of them.
She got a bronze in the Commonwealth Games, Freya.
See, I think you would quite like Tati to do some weightlifting
competitions. We did one competition called Metal, which went really good. Tatiana got a score in that, which I think puts her 4th in the under 15 category.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need to finish in top 5 or what. I don't know.
You don't really know any other girls personally, do you?
But I reached out. Tatiana got Mardy, like, what you doing emailing them? But I emailed. I've emailed somebody, and they emailed me back. They emailed me back, and there's a comp in September, which hopefully Tatiana will be able to do. Which is great.
Yeah, but with regards to anybody,
she's British indoor rowing champion last year.
I saw that. Yeah, amongst your many accolades, you're the British indoor rowings. That was that a 2K at your age still?
No, it's 500 meters.
500. And what time did you get on 500? Here we go.
I don't know. I think what was it?
I don't even know.
I think it was like.
It was under a minute. I think it was like.
No, it wasn't under a minute. It was under 2 minutes. Under a minute.
Sorry.
Like,
yeah. Sorry.
Under a minute is like crazy. Is that even possible?
So you did, yeah.
I wasn't with them. It was just these guys that went. But everyone kept saying, "What rowing club are you at?"
Tatiana had a CrossFit gear on, t-shirt and shorts.
Yeah, they all had like the proper rowing outfits on, and she just flipped off.
We turned up late because we got there early. Then they said you're back on later on.
Yeah.
So then we ended up getting there, and it was like literally about to walk on.
We got there
didn't have a warm up.
10 seconds before any of our one was running over to the
running to get there was our warm up.
Because you were actually watching Tatiana's coach Ben, weren't you? He was doing strength and depth or something at the same. It was in the Birmingham NEC.
They had weightlifting there.
And
are you going there this year?
Well, that's what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
I don't think we can we? Because I think that's the same weekend that the World Championships for Functional Fitness is on. So
is that in Australia though? The World
next year. This year's Lithuania. Next year's Australia.
Right.
Exactly
Okay.
the same weekend, and the NEC do all that in Birmingham. They have like the British weightlifting, strength and depth, and British rowing. And I think one year they did athletics as well, didn't they? It was all together, and it was amazing. Got so much going on in one place.
Yeah.
We're going to miss it because she's going to have to let someone else get that this year.
Well,
we took Tatiana to a rowing coach. So what we're doing now, we went to see this guy called Joel, who was brilliant, but he's all the way down in Stoke, so it's like a 2.5 hour drive for us, which at 13 years old, it's a long old way there and back, and it just got really hard for us to like keep committing. So and the guy who originally took her on the teens class, who has the gym where we go as a family, where she fell in love with the sport, offered to like help us out and stuff. So we've literally gone back there.
Ben Norbury.
Ben Norbury.
Ben Norbury and Rosie Palin. They own CrossFit Retford, but they've actually changed the name now.
Yeah.
They're still CrossFit affiliate, but they've gone
IROX affiliate, and they find that the Hyroxes don't like the CrossFit don't like the IROX, and then the general public don't like either. So they've changed the name to
Vertex Training
now.
But it is a CrossFit gym, and it's
a bit of everything. Yeah, you can. Yeah. So and the good thing is, what I think is, I want to try and keep Tati doing the stuff what made her fall in love with the sport as well.
And also she missed her original gym, didn't she?
Yeah, and the people.
So she missed the friends she's got at her own gym, and sometimes I think you take it for granted, like how good it is, what you've got, and so so now Ben is now programming for Tati and doing a fantastic job of it, and taking her through to these comps now, isn't he?
Hey,
we've got 4 dogs, Jake.
Wow, and a few rabbits, I've heard.
This one he tries, but he's got no hope. He's too old now.
They're always getting out. running off.
What breed have you got?
I've got a lurcher. Well, they're all mongrels.
Yeah.
So we've got a lurcher, Patterdale.
Yeah, 2 pastels.
Oh, I love Patterdales.
Yeah, they're
very naughty. Well, one's very good, one's very naughty.
Yeah, one's really old now. She's called Pip. She's a really old girl. And then we've got Lady, who's not ladylike. She runs off every day. And Buddy, we've got a gorgeous shepherd. He's beautiful. He's from Turkey. We rescued him. So he's kind of a mixture, but he looks like a shepherd. I'll try and get him to come in. Buddy, he's tied up.
Turkish shepherd, eh? Yeah, my mother-in-law and her partner at one point had 7 lurchers.
Oh wow!
And that was at that point we just had my daughter who was crawling around on the floor, so we didn't actually go around their house for a little while. Because seven lurchers and a baby doesn't sound like a well, it sounds fun for them.
A lot.
Jane, what do you think about training? Because you've got 2 daughters. What train? Like, do you think you can overtrain as a kid or not? Because when I was younger, I played football. Yeah. And from waking up in the morning, I'd be either out on my bike or playing football. I wouldn't be eating hardly throughout the day because I could be anywhere. I'd probably have a drink under the hose pipe or something like that. And that would be me. And I was fine. And I was doing what I loved. And I feel with Tati, that's what she's doing. But she's actually eating and fueling and looking after herself and recovering. But I don't know. What do you reckon?
So, long story short, I feel the same as you. I just turned 40 this year. I played football from the age of 4 from when I could walk till I was 30. I played football or soccer, and I lived on the outskirts of London. So I was fortunate enough to grow up during the 80s and 90s, where I could go out and spend all day out and then come back. You know, when dinner was ready, I wouldn't eat. I might grab a chocolate bar if I could somewhere from mate's house or something.
Fredo,
like you said, just out all day mucking around. Where I was when my kids started growing up during the pandemic, it got to the point where I realized my kids weren't going to have the same opportunities I did to do that as a kid.
Yeah.
And my mum's side of the family are all from the Isle of Man. And I brought my wife here a couple of times on holidays over the last sort of 10, 15 years. And she, as soon as I said to her, shall we move to the Isle of Man? It was a yes, instant yes. She knew exactly why. Actually, my camera, I'll show you. It's a bit miserable today, but if you look out the window, it's just fields.
Wow.
This is what Jake. We're at the same.
Yeah, exactly. So the other side of that's the back view. The front view is just fields like yours. So from as soon as the kids were awake with the sun this morning at about 10 to 5, they're up. They're begging to go outside, but we don't let them until about 7 because all the other neighbours aren't, up early. But as soon as they can, they're outdoors. My boy runs in carrying frogs. He goes out looking for lamb wool. It's just out all day, every day, as soon as he can. My daughter's the same. I think they're 7 and 6. My daughter's about to turn 8. They need to be out. They need to be learning. They need to explore boundaries. My son's got scars up his knees and his elbows and a couple on his chin from learning that you can't really jump out of trees onto your bike. You can't jump off your bike like a stuntman into a hedge without coming off a little bit worse for wear. But that exploring and that exploration and that boundary pushing and that learning by being and doing things rather than just on a screen or a book, I think there's a fine balance to be had. But I think what you're talking about with Tatiana and what we have, functional fitness, is, if you think about what it is grassroots. The actual physical side of it is just adult PE. It's just being active in as many different forms and as ways as we can, but we've measured it. We've said, right, you're going to do 10 reps over this amount of time or whatever. We're just putting measurable, repeatable, observable, mechanics on it so that we can make it competitive and learn from it. But all we're doing is we're allowing younger people to just play, to in a playground that we know that is going to be beneficial, and the education that comes with it. I think the kids that are in that environment are going to come off a lot better in 10 years than the kids that aren't in that environment. And Tatiana's got a perfect storm here, where she's got the parents that are willing and encouraging it. She's got the ability to be homeschooled and to be doing no other kind of distractions that aren't up your street, and you're not being encouraged to be around people, teens that are vaping and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you don't need to be around people like that. You've got the entrepreneurial spirit. I don't know if you've thought outside of sport at the moment, Tatiana, because you're only 13, so I don't know if you've thought about like in terms of like a career or something outside of it yet. But I can almost guarantee that you're the type of person that by the time you're 16, you'll know exactly what you want to do. You'll have it already set up, and you'll be ready to go as soon as you decide to. And that type of decisiveness comes from the environment that you guys as parents are breeding. You're creating this brilliant human that will just be able to do what she wants, because she knows hard work gets her there, and she knows that she has to learn how to do things properly. How cool is that?
That's really cool. It's nice way to say it, Jake.
I mean, we know and Tati knows she's extremely lucky to have what she has and the opportunity she has. Like she is very fortunate.
She's not afraid of hard work.
But like, look at Man City. They spend millions of pounds in the January transfer window. They can't win nothing. You can lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink it. Tatiana, even though she's got all this at her disposal, her brother's got the same. He's not got the drive. So
he's got different sports, hasn't he?
Yeah, but
he does think CrossFit is really hard.
It is hard. But like Tati, you're right. She's got you've got to want it yourself.
Yeah.
And I believe, do you know what you want to do when you're older, Tati?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
CrossFit.
What? Tell Jake what you told me. Like, Tati will make a decision now. Is it going to win at the CrossFit Games or not? If it is, she's going to do it. If it's not, she's not. And I was like, tell him what you tried to tell me. I said some of these teens win the. Oh, what did you say?
I feel like I don't know, like you could be really good at the teens CrossFit Games, but then like the adults ones, it's like I feel like
if you win
when you're 17 and then when you've got to go into the adults, like the Open, I feel like it would be really different, wouldn't it? Like a harder competition.
Yeah.
Like, just because you win as a teen, it don't mean to say you're going to win it as an adult. It's a whole bit. Like Tati's already at 13 years old.
Nobody really remembers, like, if you win the CrossFit Games as a teen, it's not like I only know who's won it as an adult. I don't know who's won it as a teen. Like
we know what.
Yeah, she's unreal. She's probably going to win it as an adult.
And herein lies the thing, Tatiana. One, you're I say fortunate. You're a very educated young lady that's looked at this and observed it. So you've made those observations. But the thing is, you've come around at a time as well where we've had a bit of experience now in seeing it play out. So we've had enough years now to see how that fruition comes about. Now, girls physically mature about 4 or 5 years before boys do. So like you got the Malabry and the Emma Lawsons, the people that come through from the teen girls section, they tend to be able to compete at the higher level a little bit earlier. Whereas the boys, the difference between a 17-year-old boy and a 25-year-old man is light years. The difference in muscle maturation, the strength and power ratio, it's through the roof. So boys have a little bit of a harder time in terms of just a delay. So there's this lag behind. Whereas the girls, if they play it right, and if they've got the right people around them, encouraging the right behaviors, discouraging the wrong behaviors, I think it can be done. It's just as long as you appreciate the fact that these things are going to take time. Time's on your side. You're 13. When I can't even remember what I was doing when I was 13, but it definitely wasn't planning ahead towards winning a global event.
We didn't have a lot in the area though now. I mean, we still haven't got a lot. We're fortunate to have this CrossFit gym where you can go and train. But I think like if we wanted a McDonald's in the area, the council would soon put it up for a Burger King or something. As soon as you start wanting fitness or a running track or football pitches, they're just putting the blocks up on you. Oh, there's no footpath there. There's no this.
Swimming baths, they weren't that.
They're just a nightmare. Yeah. That's another story anyway.
That's another podcast.
Sounds like they could do with an under 21 division then, Jake, rather than it get to 18 and make that jump. We could do with the bridge. In football, we have like a under 21, and it's like a bridging gap, and obviously you'd soon fill it because
Couldn't agree more. And we've talked about this a lot on the international scene. So a lot of Americans are agreeing. In America, they have the collegiate years, you know, so the college football arguably has bigger attendance and bigger viewership than the NFL does. The college years, so that 18 to 21, is a massive loss if CrossFit don't do that eventually. And you know, in other sports, we call it juniors and sub juniors. We'd come through. We'd appreciate the fact that there is a physical difference in the barbell sports. You look at weightlifting and powerlifting. We have sub juniors, and then we have juniors under 23. So we do have that in other sports. I think CrossFit just haven't had the time. You know, we forget that CrossFit's only really been around since 2007, 2008 as a sport, or trying to be a sport. You look at all the other sports, they've been around for decades, almost some of them centuries. They've had enough time to figure all that out. So I think at some point, just like the 35 to 39 masters category came in, we will have these different age groups. And I think it's very apparent with a lot of the discussion around the girls. You know, Mal O'Brien, I don't know if you were watching CrossFit then, Tatiana, or aware of her, but a few years ago, there was this phenom called Mal O'Brien. She went from the teens. She competed as a teen. I think she was in the 16, 17-year-old division. She competed at the CrossFit Games against the adults, and she fared really well. The thing is, she wasn't quite ready. The physicality and the mental side of it didn't quite stack up. I firmly believe if there was a under 21 division, she would have continued to dominate, but done it properly, done it well and developed, and she would eventually have gone on to be this superstar in the sport because she'd have been allowed that time to gradually go through. And speaking of which, didn't you actually qualify for the games this year?
She qualified for the CrossFit Games, did all the workouts.
But
and they turned around and said she's too young to go. So next year she finished 22nd in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
And also she actually on that Sunday when you had to get all your scores in as well, she actually redid 3 of the workouts in one day, didn't she?
Yeah.
And she attempted to do Isabel 3 times in one day.
Oh, blimey.
I see her. Isabel was a brilliant workout.
Honestly.
So, we had a score set out in our mind, and what we wanted to get, I can't remember, was it?
It was
3 minutes.
3 minutes. No, it was 2 minutes 41. I wanted to beat.
No, 2 minutes 40. We wanted to do it in. And on the last rep, if Tati does the last rep, she's going to do it in 2 minutes 30 something. As she's gone walkabout, fell over, come crashing down. The bars fell. It spun around in a circle and come back to her feet. She just picked it up and then snatched it and did it in 2 minutes 41.
No, 2 minutes 43.
43, sorry, yeah.
And all
the time I wanted to beat, I was like,
it was still a great time.
Have you got the video of that?
It's somewhere,
It's got it, probably on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
No, it wouldn't have been because we didn't use.
If you go on the CrossFit Games, and then type in the semi-final, then go to the teen division, 14 to 15-year-old girls, and then scroll down to Tatiarna Tomlinson, then you can see all the workouts.
That's the video we used. That wasn't one that we didn't use, was it?
No, that was the fastest video.
We used it.
But Tati's right, I can, if I didn't fall, I can beat it, and then
But she still got really good time anyway. It was 43 kg on the bar even for the team.
I don't think it was.
I think it was.
That was for the clean workout.
Oh, okay. Was it 38?
I don't know.
It was still heavy.
But still, that is heavy.
It was. Maybe it was 38. But
so this year, Jake, we're doing a YouTube channel ourselves, and we're showcasing functional fitness and the journey through the season, having once qualified because as the British champion. So we've got the semis and the finals, and then next year we're going to do one about the games because we're confident. Obviously, we're confident that Tati can obviously go there and do well when she gets there. So we're gonna showcase that one, and we're gonna start the documentary off actually as a qualifying and not being able to go. So you'll get to see some of the workouts then. We've got Joey helping us out. He's absolute amazing, and he's sorting it all out for us. And a guy out of London. Yeah.
Is it going to be? Hold the phone. Is it going to be this account?
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
That's it.
Everyone watching.
Episode 2 is coming out at start of every month. We're going to bring an episode out.
Lovely. Right. Well, what I'll do, guys, I will get everyone following that and promote that on the Instagram account. I'll get everyone on that. It'll be really interesting because you're right at the start of this. I know you've been lifting for a while, and you know you've qualified for the games already, but believe it or not, you're right at the beginning still. And you've got so much opportunity ahead, and you've got the right people around you. You've got the right mentality. You clearly, you know, that's all obvious to see. And may I say as well, you've got very good confidence, and you hold yourself well for such a young lady. So that's testament to yourself and your parents. So you should all be very proud of where you're at to start and what you've done so far. And the future's very bright. You've got to appreciate every day as well with it, because I speak to a lot of adults. So I work with a lot of older people, and they always say, "I wish." So I've got a 68-year-old mother-in-law who's been to the games twice in the 65 division. I wish I'd started when I was 60. I've got a 60-year-old guy in the gym that says, "I wish I started when I was 55." I got a 50-year-old that says he wishes he started when he was 40. And all the way back down, I've got people saying, "I wish I'd started when. I wish I started when." Now, Tammy, you've started at the right time. You've got everything, and you know, keep enjoying your training. That's the biggest thing. And please stick with CrossFit.
Yeah.
Don't jump ship to High Rocks.
Oh, don't mention that. Tati, tell him.
No, I like CrossFit way more than High Rocks.
She hates High Rocks.
No, she doesn't hate.
She had mentioned that word before.
We had a few hours about it.
Yeah.
She had my backpack on once, didn't she, at the airport, and started pulling all the stickers off. I'm in that.
It's
I like it.
Yeah, it's playful. It's playful to keep it in the discussion. High Rocks is an event, not a training methodology. It's totally different to what we do. And fair play to the people that are doing the High Rocks. They're bloody hard, but with your talent, with your head, with your ability, with your environment, Tammy, it's going to be amazing to watch you. And I'll get everyone over to your YouTube account. What have you got planned today? So you've done your studying. Are you on rest today? Do you have rest days?
If recovery today.
Amazing. And what does that look like for you?
Not sure. I think it's just like endurance.
Yeah, I think it.
So Tati got when Tatiana got told 3 weeks before the European Championships, we went for a scan on her ankle and we was told like we shouldn't really compete. And then having told him what we've got, he told us we need to have 6 weeks off. Then when we told the physio what we've got coming up, we spoke as a family and decided it would be worthwhile Tati doing the European Championships, because if she was to get injured, it'd like put you back 3 weeks and you'd be back to square one. So we competed, and then what the event, she won every event there bar one, which she come third on, and it was either the double unders or jumping down from a rig which was so tall. She's done her ankle again, so we've literally got 6 to 8 weeks off of your ankle, haven't we, Tati?
So no running,
but we can train around it.
Good. That's good to hear.
A bit of meme on, won't you, Tati? Maybe like a bit of bike, a bit of ski, something like that.
Yeah. My go-to for is Miko's triangle. Have you done that before?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're after active recovery, just dial in the calorie number. You don't want to be hitting the high ones on that. It's a nice little triangle to keep going around. But yeah. Good. All right, Tatiana.
It's good, man.
So all three of you, thank you so much for giving me your time today. We've just gone past the hour, so I'll let you get back to your studies and your day. But thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you, and I'd love to have you on later on in the year if that's all right, Tammy. After your channel's blown up and all your everyone, you got thousands of people wanting your time. I'll try and get you back on later in the year. But and mum and dad, well done. Should be really proud of yourselves for what you've done, and keep it going.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having
and
us.
yourself.
Jake. Keep in
Nice
touch.
one. Yes, we'll do. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
You
Bye.
too.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Awesome. What a great family, eh? That's what you want around you. Head screwed on as well. Not too much pressure in terms of from the sport side of it. But yeah, good. Love to hear that. So yeah, if you can go over and follow that YouTube page, I'll put it on the Instagram as well. Get that going. I like triple 3 for active recovery. Yeah, good. Yeah, Ken can't help himself, can he? Good. Right. Well, on that note, I hope you have all a lovely morning. Thanks for joining us today. I know it's very early where you are. We have got the mighty Dave Lipson on tonight. And we have had confirmation yesterday that he will be joining us. So we will have Dave Lipson still on the show tonight. So tune in for that. It's 7 p.m. GMT. I think it's 1 p.m. Need to get this right, don't we? 1 p.m. Dave's time. So I think he's Central CST, I think he is. But yeah, feel free to join us on there. Sean, Ken, who else do we have earlier on? Sean and Ken, basically, for the last half hour. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for all your comments and your well wishes. But he will be there. I've been assured he's there. He's fighting the big fight. The last week he was actually quite ill, so we gave him a pass. But yeah, join us then, and have a lovely day. For now.